what's up again? I'm here to do a countdown for the end of 2017. This is going to be my top 10 reissues of 2017. This is my list. I don't care about your list. I don't care if you care about my list. But this is my favorite reissues from 2017 so far. Well, so far, it's almost over this year. Granted, there's some I haven't, picked up, or we can't pick it all up. So there's still some out there I haven't picked up. But I'm going based purely on what I have, what I purchased through the year. With that said, I'm just going to get started. I'm just going to put the album up. I'm going to say a little bit about it. A lot of these you guys will know. Some you may not know. Some you should know. But I'm just going to start off with, this one may shock a lot of people, because I'm in the middle of the road with this band. I don't hate them. But my reissue, number 10 reissue of the year is Leppard's Hysteria. Not their best album in my opinion. It's their last good album. The reason this made the list is because the sound on this sounds so good. This is a very overproduced album, but you can really hear the difference from the original pressing of this versus having it put on double vinyl, because it actually fits on double vinyl. It didn't fit on the original pressing. The original pressing is actually compressed like a CD would be, so you lose a lot of quality in there. Playing this, and if you guys have both copies, do it. Especially on headphones, you will hear the difference. Now, this band, I found a new love for this band this year. I had only one other album's on CD. It was this one, which surprises me because they have a very Queensryche sound, very early Queensryche sound. Little King Diamond, little Crimson Glory in there. So I'm really surprised I didn't have more of their stuff, and I may have at one point, but I didn't remember any of it. But anyway, number 9 on my reissue list for 2017 is Haven. It's on red vinyl, Your Dying Day. This is released through Rock's production by itself. No, I'm sorry, not Rock's, Retroactive Records. If you like early Queensryche, early Crimson Glory, King Diamond, not the screeching low all the time and not the lows, just has a little bit of feel to that. Great album, great reissue, sounds killer. This is first time on vinyl as well. Reissue number 8 is Dangerous Toys Pissed. This one was on my list a couple of times, and I knocked it off, and the more I listened to it, the more I realized, man, this is a great album. It's a great reissue. And this is also the first time this has been on vinyl. You see it's on that killer orange and flick. But this is their third album, and it's probably one of their heaviest of the bunch. If you know about the band, they had a lot of trouble at this point with their record label, and they were pissed off. That's why the album's called Pissed. So that's my reissue number 8. I think we're on 7, right? And this band returns again. This album is killer. I mean, I think this is my favorite of the two now. And this is the first time I've actually remember hearing this album. And this is the first time on vinyl as well. And that's Haven again, with Age of Darkness. Really, and again, the early Queensryche, early Crimson Glory, a little bit of King Diamond. Great album. This was almost higher than it should have been, than where it is right now, I'm sorry. But phenomenal album. This is the blue vinyl version. I'm not sure if they even have any of these left. I know the colored versions were out of 100, and then they had 200 of the black vinyl. That's on Retroactive Records as well. And then now, we're at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reissue number 6 of the year for me, and also first time on vinyl, is Guardian, Fire and Love. Another great hard rock album. Not as good as their first album. Yeah, this is where Jamie Rowe, a new singer, takes over. But still very good hard rock. You can start to feel a little blues creep into this album. The third one got a lot more bluesier, but also a killer album, by the way. But that would be my number 6 reissue of the year. This is also on Retroactive. And these Retroactive records, Scott Waters, one of our big VCers. He's done a lot of the artwork layout and fixing up and cleaning up and stuff like that of the albums. So his name is all over quite a few of these albums on this list. So big hats off to Scott for tearing up the reissues this year too. Reissue number 5 for me is a top, I'm going to say top 5 favorite thrash album ever for me, and that's Testament's reissue this year of The Legacy. It's pretty cut and dry. It's on green vinyl, that's the only difference. Luckily I happened to found the original pressing this year too as well, a few months before I found this. But great debut album from this band. I like pretty much all their stuff except for the last 2 albums that got a little carried away in my opinion. But great reissue for 2017. Now this next one is the first time on vinyl in the US, if I remember correctly. And this is a joint production. I'll show it first and that's the debut album from Deliverance. This is the red vinyl version. This is Scott's label. Scott's all over this reissue thing, guys. So, No Life Till Metal. It's in partnership with Rox Productions on this one. They did I think it was Pledge Music. I'm not sure. It's one of those GoFundMe kind of things, and they're trying to get enough money up to actually put this out, and they did. It did really well, actually. I think they have some more copies for sale. I'm not sure if they have the color ones. Again, super limited. Again, I think they were out of 100. I think they have some black ones left. You can check Rock Productions. Again, cleaned up by Scott. Phenomenal sounding. Sounds great on this, on vinyl. But it's the first time on vinyl in the US. And that is number 4. Reissue of the year for me. Now we get into the top 3. This was really tough. Number 1's easy for me. Flat out easy for me. It's one of my all-time favorite bands. And it's one of those bands that you love, but for some reason when you start making a list of your favorite bands, you tend to forget them, which is really weird. But it's one of those bands, but just great band. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead of it. Reissue number 3 of the year for me is a band called Fear Not. Now there's a lot of VCers on this one. Let me look at this. I think this is a Rox Productions. Yeah, this is only a Rox Productions. Scott did layout in there. Ron Wall of Ronnie's Record Room did all the artwork, all the all the line work and that, and on the album and the poster. I'm not going to show you all that. I'm just going to show you the reissue. But great album. If you like, I hear a lot of people say Skid Row. I hear, now I'm blanking out. Skid Row is a good comparison. I would take these guys over Skid Row. Sorry, Peaches. I would take these guys over Skid Row. This is a killer first time on vinyl album. This is the purple vinyl. It's hard to see that, but it's purple. Again, there are probably limited quantities left of these, but this is reissue number 3 for me. Gritty, bit of bluesy, hair metal, glam metal-ish sound, but perfect album. In my opinion, it's a perfect album. Now, reissue number 2 is very new. It just came out, I think, on the 8th of December here in the States. And I luckily, again, a few months ago, I actually found the original pressing. And that is Judas Priest, Painkiller. This is one of their top 3 albums for me of all time. And I love Judas Priest. Priest is a childhood memory. Priest is anything Priest does in my book is good. I don't care what anybody says. But this is the reissue from this year. Pretty cut and dry. The only really change I noticed is the binding. The binding edge is white on this, and it's not on the original. Other than that, it's pretty much similar to the original release. Painkiller, Judas Priest. Scott Travis drums on this, especially the track Painkiller. It's just monstrous. I mean, it's as soon as you hear that opening, that beat, you know that's Painkiller coming. Scott Travis was in a band called Reissues, and Paul Gilbert was in that band. Scott Travis, they did an instrumental called Scarified. And it's another drum beat where it starts off with Scott Travis, and you're into it right away. Sidetracked. Now we're down to number 1. My number 1 reissue of the year is, again, Rock's production. Rock is putting out some phenomenal shit this year. It looks like they're going to have a hell of a lineup again. Scott's No Life Till Metal label is involved in some of these. He's got a couple other releases. He's got a couple coming up. Banshee coming up, which is going to be a killer release. So I know that offhand already. But this one is, if this album wasn't a reissue, this album would make my top 10 releases of 2017 period this year. And I almost did that as well, but I decided to separate the reissues and the new releases. So number 1 reissue of the year for me is Holy Soldiers, Last Train. This is their second album, first time on vinyl. I'm not sure if I said Fear Not's first time on vinyl. This is the red vinyl version. I think they have some black. Again, go check out rocksproductions.com and see what they have left. Good hair, glam, hard rock. Not as heavy as their debut, but still a killer vocal album. Stephen Patrick is the vocal on the first album and this album, and I love his voice. He's another guy that has a very unique singing voice. He has a killer solo album too, which I wish somebody would pick up and put on vinyl. But anyway, Holy Soldier, Last Train, my number 1 2017 reissue of the year. Thanks, Rock's Productions for hammering out some great quality reissues. And again, I'm not affiliated with Rock's whatsoever. I spent too much money there with Rock's. I couldn't even buy all the stuff I wanted to buy from them this year, but they do such a quality work. And again, the artwork is by Scott Waters. Scott does a lot of work for Rock's, Retroactive, Bombworks, I think. A couple other companies he does a lot of artwork for, and layouts and stuff like that. So big ad for Scott in this video as well. But anyway, number one, Holy Soldier, Last Train. I think they're putting out their debut in 2018. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I heard from Scott. That's going to be killer. That's the original press is high on my it's my number one right now, and it's only a UK pressing that wasn't pressed in the United States, so that's going to be another first time in US pressing if it gets pressed. Anyway, there's my top 10 2017 reissues of the year. Let me know what you guys think. If you don't know it, I'm going to list all the bands, a song or two from the bands in my description below, and take a listen. If you don't know the band, let me know what you think. I'd be interested to see what your guys' reissues of the year are. Yeah. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you real soon with my 2017 new releases of the year video. Y'all have a good night.